Good afternoon. Today we are going to discuss about inflammatory bowel disorder. Under inflammatory bowel disorder, I will be discussing about Crohn's disease. What is inflammatory bowel disorder? Inflammatory bowel disorder involves inflammation along the length of intestine. So, along the length of intestine, if this is the lumen, this is the submucosal layer. Here there will be an inflammation. This inflammation may progress from submucosa to the outer layers, that is from submucosa towards serosa. From submucosa towards serosa. This type of inflammation is called as inflammatory bowel disorder. Under inflammatory bowel disorder, there are two conditions. One is ulcerative colitis, you see, and the other one is Crohn's disease. What is the main difference between ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease? In ulcerative colitis, only submucosal layer and mucosa will be involved, whereas in Crohn's disease, all these four layers, that is ranging from submucosa, mucosa, serosa and muscularis externa, all the four layers will be involved. Because of this involvement, it is called as transmural inflammation. So transmural inflammation, and in Crohn's disease, segments will be skipped. So for example, here if there is any presence of inflammation, it is discontinuous. At next part, it may or may not have inflammation, and then again there may be presence of inflammation. This type of skipping segments is present in Crohn's disease, whereas in ulcerative colitis, the inflammation is continuous. So today we are going to discuss only about Crohn's disease. So this transmural inflammation is the hallmark sign of Crohn's disease. Along with transmural inflammation, in endoscopy we can see the cobblestone appearance of intestinal wall. So why it is cobblestone appearance? Because of the presence of nodules. So we can see this type of nodules in the intestinal wall. This appearance is called cobblestone appearance. And what are the clinical presentation of Crohn's disease patients? Patient comes with abdominal pain, diarrhea, unexplained weight loss, it may or may not be quantified, hematochezia, that is the presence of fresh blood in stools, malaise, presence or absence of fever. Along with these clinical presentations, patient may also have abdominal mass or tenderness when we perform a physical examination, and there may or may not be presence of perianal fissure or fistula. When we order lab tests, we can notice that there will be increased WBC and increased erythrocyte sedimentation rate. The presence of increased erythrocyte sedimentation rate indicates that there is presence of inflammation. And in complete blood picture, we can see decreased RBC, that is anemia. So why are these complications, and what are the complications that are present in Crohn's disease, and why are they occurring? So there are complications of Crohn's disease include small bowel strictures, fistulas and abscess. Along with these complications, these other complications are also present in Crohn's disease. These are very important and they help us to identify does the patient has Crohn's disease or not. So there will be presence of hypochromic anemia. So why is this present in the patient? Because of bleeding from these inflammatory sites, there will be loss of blood which results in hypochromic anemia. And because of this inflammation, there will be presence of inflammatory mediators in the patient. So these inflammatory mediators enter bloodstream and result in systemic complications. So what are the systemic complications that we can notice in a patient with Crohn's disease? So there will be presence of arthritis, iritis or skin lesions, and there may be presence of liver disease even. And in complicated cases of Crohn's disease, we can notice renal stones. Why are there renal stones? Because of fat malabsorption, it results in greater oxalate absorption. This greater oxalate absorption results in the formation of calcium oxalate stones, and there may be presence of even gallstone. Why gallstones are occurring? Because of bile acid malabsorption, and there will be multiple nutritional deficiencies in patients with Crohn's disease. Why are there multiple nutritional deficiencies? Because the body cannot absorb nutrients appropriately from the inflamed intestinal wall when compared with the normal intestinal wall. What are the nutritional deficiencies which are usually noticed? Deficiency of iron, deficiency of vitamin B12, folate deficiency, potassium deficiency can also be noted, which can be called as hypokalemia, and there will be deficiency of albumin in the patient. Maybe it may be due to absorption or synthesis, or it may be due to this presence of liver disease. It results in hypoalbuminemia. Okay, and along with these things, what other things can be done to treat the patient? So treatment involves 4 categories of drugs. So what are the drugs that are used in the treatment of these patients? The first category are aminosalicylates. This treatment will be a long-term treatment. Aminosalicylates like sulfasalazine and mesalamine can be used. Another drugs are antibiotics to treat if any coexisting infection is present. Antibiotics that can be used are ciprofloxacin and metronidazole. Along with this, there will be usage of corticosteroids in the patients during the therapy. Other drugs that are used in the patient include TNF alpha inhibitors like infliximab, and we must even give nutritional supplements. And another deficiency that I have missed previously was there is a chance of osteomalacia in these patients. This is just an outline of Crohn's disease understanding. It is not complete information on Crohn's disease, and thank you.